All right, let's bring on our guest. He covers the NBA and the Lakers. He is on cloud 9 right now because he's got a contender on his hands. Jovan Buha, who was in the building for Lakers Nuggets. I know it was a thriller. I was watching on my phone from the Cheesecake Factory. Hey, you got to do family stuff, as you know. What was the mood like in the locker room after the game?
That was an incredible win, the win of the season, I think, for the Lakers. And the vibes are high right now. They've won 5 in a row, 8 of 9, and 5. Among those 5 wins, 3 of them have been against top 10 teams in the NBA, with New York and Minnesota and Denver. So the vibes are high in there.
Yeah. Now, Jovan, you'll remember he has, Buha's block. He does a YouTube show, and he was the one who came on the show in the summer and was like, hey, Jake LaRavia is a good signing. And everybody, what is this guy talking about? Listen, man, the bench for the Lakers has looked better recently. It's like Luke Kennard is showing up. LaRavia, it almost feels like Redick is pushing all the right buttons.
I think so. I just tweeted this out. But with the starting group, they're a +7 net rating coming out of the All-Star break. With the big 3, this was the big one. Because when I was on a month ago, we talked about 3 keys for me coming out of the All-Star break for LA were to get healthy, which they've been trending in the right direction. I wanted them to optimize the big 3, which coming into the All-Star break, they had a -10 net rating with the big 3. Coming out of the All-Star break now, +12.6 net rating with those 3. So it's flipped entirely where they're dominating people with those 3 on the floor. And then +7 net rating with the starters. And then I also want to see some statement wins. They just beat the Knicks. They just beat the Timberwolves. They beat the Nuggets in OT. They're playing their best basketball of the season at the right time. So I think that they're ascending when they need to.
So Rachel and I were talking this morning about this whole end game situation. It's like the big 3 weren't playing great together, especially defensively. All of a sudden the numbers flip. What do you think has changed? Are other teams not playing as hard? Are the Lakers just playing harder? Why the change?
I think that the starting group has been optimized with Marcus Smart in there. If you look at all the lineup data, Marcus Smart has led this group in plus-minus net rating all season, and I think promoting him full-time to being a starter and the Lakers getting healthier at the right time. I think the Luke Kennard addition has been huge with his off-ball shooting and gravity and just the way that teams have to guard him. He's also been a nice playmaker for them. One term that JJ likes to use is called the blunder, when you penetrate and then you get the defense scrambling and rotating. Like Luke Kennard's really good at triggering that. But I think Luka has been playing at an MVP level. Austin Reaves, the last few games, he has 3 straight games, 30+. 4 straight with 20+. First time he's done that since that end of November, early December stretch. So we're talking about multiple months ago. LeBron came back and is really bought into being, I think, more of the third option right now. Then again, you got a bunch of role players playing well. So you put that all together and they've won 8 or 9. So
do we know, and again, this is tough with the LeBron situation. Do we know why all of a sudden he bought in? Was there a meeting? Was there a film session that just kind of spooked LeBron? He's like, I got to roll into the PJ Washington spot now from Luka's Mavs days. Be a role player.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's been more so. We've seen, when LeBron first came back, I think people forget, he took a step back offensively, and it was more Luka and Austin, because those have been the 2 guys. LeBron came back they had a 7-game win streak early in the season. They started the season 15-4, and LeBron came back during that win streak. So I feel like there's been a narrative out there that they never won with LeBron this season, or he kind of made the team worse. And some of the lineup data earlier in the season was definitely negative, we'll say, but he came into that win streak and he adapted and he took a step back. Then Austin Reaves got injured, and if you look at the usage when Austin Reaves came back, he was more the number 3 guy, and because LeBron then found his footing and LeBron was playing his best basketball of the season when Austin was out. So I think it's been more so when one of the big 3, or more specifically LeBron or Austin, is out, the other one assumes more usage, scores more, has a bigger role. Then the new guy coming back is sort of all right, I'm going to assimilate. I'm going to kind of find my role. So with LeBron going out here for a few games, I think that jump-started Austin, and now you're seeing him playing his best basketball in months, and now LeBron's come back in as the number 3.
So I've been to games and seen you courtside, obviously, covering the team. Talk me through the Reaves missed free throw. Did JJ Redick signal? Is this something they worked on in practice? Because it just lined up perfect. I mean, that was one of the great plays of the season.
Yeah, I mean, one of the plays of the season. So what's funny is JJ had said he told Austin to miss to the right because they were trying to anticipate where the second nugget was going to be in terms of rebounding. So they were telling him to miss to the right because they thought that was going to be the single side to go then corral the offensive rebound, but that it ended up going to the left because that's where there was only one nugget. I think the underrated part of that play is look at DeAndre Ayton seal Nikola Jokic, and just that allows Austin to get that shot up, barely deterred. But I mean, that might be the most impressive play of the season. It's got to be up there.
And then you see Austin, I love you to the basket. I mean, listen, Austin Reaves is I don't know if I read it from you or somewhere else, but he is such a, like everybody loves him. He's maybe the most loved Laker because they drafted him, I just don't see them parting with him if this keeps up, right?
I don't see it either.
I
think
like
it's just a matter
much.
of like how much money he's going to make, and that will ultimately be determined by the rest of the season and how the playoffs go. But he's going to make 30, if not 35 plus million annually, and I think sign a 4 or 5 year deal with the Lakers this summer.
So I don't know if we could play the audio, but about on February 9th, LeBron was asked about OKC beat you, and LeBron's like, yeah, they're a championship team, we're not. And it sounded like his tune changed a little bit after the Nuggets win. Do you think that LeBron, I mean, he's being serious, he's not really smiling during the interviews. I don't know, do you think he's enjoying this? Maybe that's a weird question, but he doesn't seem like, oh my gosh, yeah, we do have the sound. All right, here it is, here's the audio.
You want me to compare us to them?
No, I want to know where you think, though, that, like, sort of as this team is on, it's like...
That's a championship team right there. We're not. So, I don't understand.
What are the biggest things you think that are keeping this team as this right now?
We can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes. And they can. That's why they won a championship.
So it sounds like he was defeated almost at that point. And then if you fast forward to this past weekend, it's like, wait a minute, we just beat the Knicks. We swept the Wolves this season. And now we've taken 2 out of 3 from Denver. I know Jokic didn't play in one of them, but are they a championship team? Like, do you think LeBron is quote unquote happy, or is he thinking what's going to happen this summer? Do they want me back? Where do I go? That uncertainty, nobody likes that.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know what LeBron's thinking on this, but I can say that I feel like the belief in this group has increased with this recent stretch. And I mean, to that point, like I came on here a month ago and talked about it. Like they had not been beating the best teams in the NBA entering this past weekend when, about a week or so ago when they first beat New York. They were 4-12 against teams with a 600 win percentage or better, which functionally is like the top 10 teams in the NBA. They had lost 12 of 13 games against those teams, and 10 of those 12 losses had been by double figures. So basically every time the Lakers had played a top 10 team, they were getting blown out. So while the record was still impressive and they were beating up on under 500 teams, the last kind of thing, if you wanted to nitpick their sort of standing, was like, they just can't beat. I mean, think about like Christmas Day against Houston, getting blown out by OKC, San Antonio. Like they had all these blowout losses. Even recently, a few weeks ago, Boston, right? They lost by 20 plus to Boston. Right. So it was like they had yet to pass. That was like the final test that they needed to show. We could beat a New York, we could beat a Minnesota, we could beat a Denver at full strength, with Jokic back. And they've done that now. So I think that just the general optimism with this group has obviously been trending upward over the past week or so. Now they have a huge road trip coming up, play Houston twice, play Detroit. Miami and Orlando are both rolling right now. Those have been 2 of the hottest teams in the East. So like this is a tough 6-game road trip, and this will show us, I think, kind of where they're ultimately at in the West.
Let me drill down, since you mentioned the Rockets. They play the Rockets tonight in Houston, then Wednesday. They are, I think the Rockets won the first meeting, yes?
Yeah.
So the Lakers need these 2 for any tiebreakers. Yeah. I do need to ask about the Rockets. So Şengün, unclear if he's going to play, what's going on, but he has cratered since the All-Star break. And you remember what happened at the All-Star break, KD's texts.
Yes.
A, do you think there's any correlation there? B, what the hell's going on with the Rockets?
I don't know what's going on with the Rockets. They have been they to me are now the 6th best team the West, right? And probably going to lose in round 1, and we'll see how competitive that even is. Like, if you told me they got like swept or lost in 5 in round 1, I wouldn't be that surprised at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be like a little bit of a correlation of, if it comes out that you're texting about Rachel, like I don't think she's gonna love that, right? From some burner.
Probably not.
It's just I think there's like a human element to it, right? So I would like I think they were trending down a little bit before then, so there could be some causation versus correlation within some of this, but for sure, I don't think if your teammate is comes out there, have a burner behind your back and saying some of the things he said about his teammates, like that's got to be tough.
But it's not just the Rockets. Have you noticed Julius Randle's play has declined significantly for the Wolves, and they all of a sudden they went to the conference finals twice in a row. Chris Finch comes on the show. I love talking to that guy. He is awesome.
He is.
But they tried to trade Randle for Giannis. It's very well known. And Randle's numbers have sagged. Do you think there's a correlation there as well?
There could be.
Randle killed the Lakers in the series.
He did. I think Minnesota deserves, difference for me between Minnesota and Houston is Minnesota has proof of concept of they've made back-to-back Western Conference Finals. So I think that, I trust them more than I trust Houston. Houston's unproven, right? Like this group, they lost in 7 last year to the Warriors. They've yet to win a playoff series. They've yet to play in a playoff series with KD. So we just don't really know what we're getting from Houston in mid to late April. With Minnesota, there's an element of they can be a little Jekyll and Hyde, and their highs are very high, their lows are very low, and then I think come playoff time they become a serious basketball team. So I think they'll be a tough first round out if they don't make the second round, but Julius Randle's got to be better, right? Last year he was probably a top 20 player, I would say, based on his play, especially toward the end of the season. He's not been that this season.
To go back, just because you said Anthony Edwards, I remember. So the Lakers played such good D on Ant, he struggled, and then Jamal Murray Saturday was 1 of 13.
Yeah, and Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson,
they shut him down too.
So now I'm asking because I don't know. So the last time you were on, you were like, well, Marcus Smart's been amazing. And in my head, I'm like, bro, come on, Marcus Smart's not been that good. He's unreliable. Is Marcus Smart the reason all 3 of those guys struggled? Is he
big part of it? The Lakers defense has been trending up. So most of the season they've been a bottom 10 defense, and that's been the Achilles heel for this group. Is just they don't have if you compare their best defenders to basically any other top West team's best defenders, there's a pretty clear gap there. So they don't have an Amen Thompson, they don't have an Aaron Gordon, they don't have a Wemby. OKC's whole team is an all defense team. They're just loaded. So the Lakers, it's been more of a team defense than an individual defense. But I give Marcus Smart a lot of credit where he had 5 steals in that game against Denver, and he made 5 threes on the other end. So he to me has been their 4th best player this season and is their 4th most important player. And if the Lakers make any noise in the playoffs, if they win a round or even a couple, it's going to be because Marcus Smart is playing a big role. But yeah, his defense, he's always guarding 1 through 3, the best defender. Lakers do switch a lot. They've been playing some more zone. So he's not the possession to possession, he might be switched off. But he had some nice possessions against Jokic. And I think in general, the Lakers' physicality, I give Austin Reaves a lot of credit. He's been a guy that teams will target or try to attack with a big man. He was switching onto Jokic and tipping the ball loose and generating steals. So the Lakers' overall physicality, I think, has ramped up.
Pelinka, good signing by him. Okay, a couple more. Steph Curry's my favorite player in the league. He's talking about coming back. What are you hearing? Anything?
I think he's going to be back. They have nothing to not play for, right? So, there's the whole pick and what happens with that, but they're trying to win. And I don't think they're going to do much. They'll probably be, if they make the playoffs, they'd probably be the 8th seed and lose in round 1 to OKC in 4 or 5. But they're kind of locked into the play-in. If you look at the standings, the furthest they could drop is 10th. So if you're already going to be in the play-in, this is assuming he's actually cleared to return, right? And I think if he can return, he will return. I think it's going to come down to just, is he physically capable of, not some shenanigans of them trying to hold him out. Because they want it, the Warriors want to go out with pride. So I think if he plays, they have a shot, I think, to be the 8th seed, and then from there, you'll probably lose to OKC.
I hope he's on a real team next year. Okay, so Rachel's rolling with the Celtics as her favorites. I like the Knicks in the East. Who you got?
I'm of both minds.
No, you got to
I'm going to give you an answer.
Got to pick one.
Going into the season, I've been a Knicks guy.
Yes.
So my preseason prediction was OKC, New York. And I'm off that now. I'm on Boston. I think Boston's getting back.
Because Tatum's looked pretty damn good.
Tatum's looked pretty good.
I go back to that series last year. So the Knicks were up on them before Tatum got hurt. They're kind of a good matchup. OG and Bridges are as good as you can do on the wings against Brown and Tatum. I don't know about the other spots. Like,
I don't think Cat's been the same player as last season.
Another guy who's been
like
in
their
trade
depth.
rooms.
I like their. I mean, I think the top four in the East. Like, if you told me any of those four, Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland, I think those are going to be the four teams that advance to the second round, and then it's really going to come down to matchups, momentum, injuries, all that stuff. But I think right now Boston, they've been so good without Tatum, and he's just been a seamless fit. And if you look at his per possession and per 36 numbers, he's basically back to last season minus the efficiency. The field goal percentage, 3-point percentage has not returned yet, but I think that is just a matter of time. So, yeah, I mean, they've been the second best team in the East this season, and then you add in your best player back.
I don't know how he's going to hold up against the playoff rigors. You know, it's a lot tougher game, and I like Tatum personally.
Yeah.
But all right, final question: Wembanyama, is he your MVP? I know everybody wants SGA. You going SGA?
SGA.
All right. Can Wembanyama at least win the title this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I've been arriving at this point recently where I think you can make a case. I mean, right now they are arguably the second best team in the league, but I think there's a real case for that in the playoffs. This team's,
They're stacked.
just amazing. And you look at what in several of those games against OKC where they've gone 4-1. Wemby didn't even play 30 minutes in those games, and they're beating OKC.
Point,
So I think they got to get to the conference finals first. But if they can get to the conference finals, I think they're a really tough matchup for OKC and one of maybe only two teams in the West that can beat OKC. Typically we do, if you look at some of the recent champions, right? Like Boston had several runs to the conference finals before they finally broke through. OKC, there was the ascension of first round exit, second round exit, championship. Going back to last decade with the Warriors, it was second round, first round, then they broke through, won the title. So typically teams like this need a year or two of getting your playoff experience under your belt. That would be my one thing with them, but I think they're ready. They've won basically every big matchup they've had. They've beaten everybody this season. They've been dominant on both ends of the floor. They have a top five offense.
For the Spurs Lakers, where Lakers sat everybody and Wemby had 25 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I was there. I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. All right, Jovan Buha, obviously great stuff. Check out his Buha's Block podcast. Great stuff as always, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next here on The Herd, Rachel, there's a longest current streak in the NBA. Is it legit? Rachel's got the inside stuff next.